I'm not a skilled interviewer. Let's fucking face it.
I'm not a skilled. What?
You've done podcasts before, though.
I have. I've never done. I haven't done a lot of video ones.
Have you done what the fuck?
I did Treat Williams's. I'm just kidding. Just trying to think of somebody random that video podcast.
You win that. No one more random than that.
He would be great.
Treat would be a treat.
Now we're going. This is a section where we do jokes.
Yeah.
And you don't have to think of them. They're written on blue cards.
For the first time in the show.
Yeah, the first time in the show. We do jokes. We stop our Marc Maron like grilling of your personal life. Do your Marc Maron.
I don't have a Marc Maron.
Marc Maron gets it a lot, like anything you say. I get it, I get it.
Yeah.
Were you jealous of him? People constantly tell me, or I hear this, funniest man that ever lived. Is that
Mel Brooks?
Do you believe that?
Sure. I mean, I think he's of an era. You know what I mean? I think he's still. I think the amazing thing about him, if you are, well, you're not wired that way. If you're a Jew and your wiring is Jewish, Mel Brooks is going to tap right into that.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Gotcha. I understand. I find that when I used to do stock lines. And then I was always sad because it would do better than the rest of my act.
People just love it because
But that's why it's a stock line.
Yeah, because the timing's built in. Oh, there was a dude. I don't know if I want to mention his name.
Yeah, what is it? The doorman at the store. There's a lot of stories there. This guy told me two of them were sucking each other off in the fucking parking lot.
Is that true?
I mean, yeah, it's true.
Really?
Yeah,
the door? That was different when I was there.
I wasn't surprised at all.
Because they were those kind of guys?
Yeah, they drink a lot and they're wild.
I like those kind of guys. You talking about gay people?
Yeah.
I was.
What? I mean, who else is going to be sucking each other?
I know. Why do you call them those kind of guys? Why don't you just say, are they gay?
Are they gay? Why?
You sound like a guy from Mad Men or something.
No, I'm not.
Those kind of fellers?
No, that was not the tone I had.
You understand after a while, and even with politicians, like they're still human beings. And,
yeah, barely, but yeah, they're the worst kind of fucking people in the world.
That's true.
All of them.
I'm glad to hear you say that because everybody thinks you're all leftist and everything.
Well, I mean, I definitely land on the lefty side of things on ideological terms, but I found that from doing political talk radio, just being carrying water for any of them, you just got to realize the quality of people you're dealing with. You're dealing with fucking corporate whores who are operated by business interests. So really, it's going to come down to however you view politics. The question is, do you give a shit about poor people, and are we being taken advantage of?
Right.
Now, if people want to frame that as, Obama's a communist and draining us of our livelihood, well, that's your particular delusion, and that's fine. I mean,
right.
But I just got disillusioned with all of it because these are not quality people. I mean, I did a joke about Michelle Bachmann on Real Time.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I was getting flack from this, a very small portion of the right, that they were like, he's a misogynist. I'm like, she's a fucking pig. She's a fucking politician. Can you name me two politicians that command any respect whatsoever? Why do we respect these people? These people are car salesmen. They're idiots. They're more disingenuous than anybody as performers, and they basically figured out a way to bait and placate morons into voting against their self-interest. That's an amazing skill, but is it respectable? I don't know. Do you respect a guy that sells you horse shit in the guise of a health supplement?
I agree with you. I mean, I think politicians are terrible. I mean, people attack evangelists, but at least evangelists offer something.
Right. Well, they after the immediate relief of someone's pain and aggravation with another line of bullshit. But nonetheless, I mean, they're pretty evil too.
Well,
I mean, with politics, it's like. Yeah, I don't like to get into it that much anymore.
Yeah, let's not get into this shit, man.
Okay, buddy.
Because it's getting. I can see people not laughing now.
No, I mean, but laughter. But I know that you've gotten into a little bit of flack around it. But you're
flack around what?
Around politics.
What do you mean?
Well, just that, you've said things that people have reacted to, but you're not like a political comic.
I'm not political. I've only said things on purpose to provoke people.
Right.
Once in a while.
You like doing that, though.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
But I've never. But I've never. Because I don't know enough. And because I don't respect political humor when it's nothing but gossip.
Yeah, and mostly comics and people like us, people who are obviously First Amendment warriors to a certain degree. We like living the way we want to live. So it's really just going to come down to money. It's like, how do I keep my money? I mean, that's the biggest political question that most righties ask themselves. It's like, I'd like to keep as much of my money as possible. And if that's in a minority opinion, how do we get this majority of poor people to get me to keep my money and believe that they're doing the right thing?
Yeah, it's a tough fucking thing because apparently I read this, if all the money in the world was equally divided among everybody would be dead fucking poor.
Yeah. There's these moments where I don't talk about as much as I used to, but then there's moments where you're like, there's a moment that I was on a fucking radio show the other day. And this was an interesting thing because it's about professionalism. I don't do political talk radio. I've got my political views and they're fairly general. I'm not trying to support, any politician, but, I have the way I think about things. Right, but there are politicians that represent the opposite of what I think. So I'm on this talk show with a guy, it's a Fox affiliate, but, I'm there to plug my comedy and talk about my podcast and be funny with this dude who's a talk show host. He's a radio professional. He runs an entertainment show for the most part, but he's been dying to talk to Rand Paul about the bridge situation because I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. He's the fucking senator. Right. They got bridges falling down, and he's been trying to get this guy on the show. And the guy he calls in when I'm there. So now I've got, if I was doing political talk radio, I mean, it would have been what the fuck are you thinking? You and your libertarian bullshit, and how are we going to pay for this? I would have jumped in and done that. But there was this moment where it's I'd just done a segment with this radio professional. He was like, God, it's great to talk to a guy who knows how to be on radio. We're having a good time. Hold on, the senator's on the phone. I got to sit there and go, oh, do I do this? Would it be worth it to sabotage this for some lefty, credibility? Yeah, and then I realized, dude, he's a radio guy. You're a comedian. You're having a good conversation. He's trying to talk to this guy about a local problem. Just shut the fuck up and let him do his job. And then when you come back, get back to what you were talking about. And I chose to do that. But I did walk out saying, you pussy. You had such an opportunity there.
I was on Politically Incorrect a couple of times. Yeah. And, fuck, man, you have to have an opinion about every goddamn thing on that show. So,
or you can just do a little homework and write some jokes.
Yeah, but sometimes I remember at the break, Scott Carter go, enough with the jokes. But I'll never forget it. I'm very unlearned, and so before the show, Scott came in, who was the
producer. Yeah, he's been on the show. Yeah.
So he said, "What do you think about China and Taiwan?" And seriously, I only know those as words, So I was like, I don't know anything. Can't I have another subject? So anyways, then we get out because he goes, because Bill believes this. I mean, anyways, when we get out, we're introducing the guy beside me, the smart guy, right? Mm-hmm. He wrote a book on China and Taiwan.
Right.
So fucking Bill Maher, he starts with me. He goes what was it, China and Taiwan? I go, I don't know. Fucking ask this guy. What do I know? I'm a nightclub comic. What? That's what made me laugh with that show. Everyone's opinion's equal.
Right.
Right. Like a nightclub comic and an expert. And then another thing I always found funny about that show is the comedians try to be very serious, and then the serious guys are trying to get jokes.
Yeah. So
it's
it's not always our shining moment.
I do like Bill, though.
No, Bill's great at what he does.
Yeah.
He started out a straight up joke dude, and he knows his shit. And it's pretty amazing.
You know what's funny about him? I don't know if I should say this or not, but he's probably aware of it. When he does his monologue, have you noticed when he does his monologue, he does Johnny Carson?
No, yeah, no, definitely. He definitely models himself. I think that's been his style for a long time. He definitely takes the posture.
But I find it very funny because he's got the posture and the timing and everything, and he's like, and then she came in his face, But it's crazy words come out.
Carson would have loved to have done that.
Yeah, he probably would have.